Fort Mifflin stands on the edge of the Delaware River, a fortress caught between centuries. Once cannon fire shook these walls. Now it's the roar of planes that splits the sky, their shadows gliding over brick and memory alike. In November 1777, during the siege of Fort Mifflin, British guns hammered the fort in a bombardment so intense it is reported that 1,000 cannonballs rained on the fort in a single hour. Cold, starving, vastly outgunned, the American garrison held on, not just with muskets, but with will. They call her the Screaming Lady. Long ago, this wife of an officer who lived at the fort lost her children here, and her grief never left. Tonight I'm here to listen, not to the Screaming Lady, but to the Mourning Lady, to honor her sorrow, not her screams, to stand where love, loss, and time itself overlap, and to remember what the living too often forget. Welcome to Haunted by Beauty.
I'm Susan, and welcome to my channel, Haunted by Beauty. Tonight, I'm at Fort Mifflin on the Delaware, or the fort that saved America. I'm in Philadelphia, close to the modern Philadelphia airport, but at one point, this was a muddy field of death and destruction. From September to November 1777, by that time, the American forces had taken over the fort. There was brutal battles taking place from the Delaware, and over 10,000 cannonballs were said to have hit the fort. One family lived here, the Pratt family. Soldiers lived here with their families. One woman lived here named Elizabeth Pratt. She had 2 children, and they both sadly died. We don't know whether it was yellow fever or smallpox, but she soon died thereafter. There are stories of the fort being extremely haunted, and one of the stories does describe the screaming woman who is supposed to be Elizabeth Pratt. I do not want to refer to her as the screaming woman. I want to refer to her as the mourning woman, because she lost her children here and probably was so filled with anguish and despair that she, rightfully so, screamed and probably beyond being consoled. Tonight I'm going to be doing this look that I feel is, close to something from the 1700s. I don't know that it's necessarily historically accurate for the fort, but it is something that I thought I would give a try. And I will start out doing my eyes and continue to tell you about the fort. I do have a nice little candle here. I do have my EMF detector, and we'll keep an eye on that to see if it goes off. It's going off right now. That could be from my mic. It's most likely from my mic, but it has been going off over here on the table. I will keep an eye on it. So when I start my look, I always start with setting my eyelids, and I will be going in with my P. Louise primer, and this is Rumor 02. So you only need a little bit of this primer, just sort of a little pea size. And I'll go in and get this on my eyelids. Not only did this fort serve in the Revolutionary War, but it was also a prison in the Civil War for both Union and Confederate soldiers. One man was hanged here for treason and murder, and his name was William Howe, and he's alleged to haunt this island as well. My eyes are going to be very bright. This entire look is going to be very bright. I am going to do this sort of as an homage to Elizabeth Pratt. At least one of the children had to be quarantined away from her, and I can only imagine the anguish that must have cost her. This is going off, so I'll try to hold it over here so you can see it going off. It continues to go off. So now that I have my primer on, I'll go ahead and set my lids. And I'm going to use my NARS translucent crystal setting powder because it's pure white. It's pure white. Someone's up on the wall and getting in trouble. Now that I have my eyelid set, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my colors. And she does appear to have silver and some, it looks like maybe brown. But I do have this lovely palette from Dominique Cosmetics called Rustic Glam. So I'm going to go in with this. And I'm actually going to try to use a lot of blue in this look. So I'm going to go in first with, there's a plane going over. I'll go in with this crease brush. And I'm going to do up high on my lids, but not all the way over. So there is an active ghost investigation going on tonight called Sleep with the Ghosts. And there's about, I want to say at least 30 people here. Remember, you want to be back further on your brush so that you have less tension against your eyelids, and that helps you blend a little bit better. Well, it's just going off non-stop. As soon as I lift it, it stops going off. So William Howe was executed in 1864 and is said to haunt the casemate number 5, and that was actually for desertion and murder charges. There are other spirits that are said to walk here. One is Jacob, the blacksmith, because there is a blacksmith shop here on the fort, and a lamplighter who continues to make his rounds and light the lamps. So now I'm going to go in with a silver, and I have this palette that I continue to love, Flower Nose Ballet series, and this is Black Swan. What I want is the this sort of whitish silver right here. So she seems to have that on her brow bone. Let's try to get some more on there. You see the shimmer. And then in here, what I'll go in with now is I'm going to do the bottom of my face now. I am going to be doing all white. I'm using El Laurel. So this is a foundation that is white, and it blends down to the color of your skin. There's quite a few shades. I've used this before in some of my videos. I'm going to go in very thick and keep it very white. And then I'm going to use my Real Techniques foundation brush. And I want this to stay as light as possible. So again, there's stories of the screaming woman over by the officers' quarters, which is right this way to my right. But imagine you're here, you're isolated, you're quarantined, and possibly not able to get to your daughter or your child. And then both of your children pass away. I think that that's the saddest thing that you can experience as a mother, is to lose your children. So I'm going to keep it bright like this. And then I actually am going to go in with this Marron makeup, and it's light blue. I'm going to stipple this all over my face because I want a blue hue. And this is just an applicator I got from the dollar store. It's really not reading too blue. Not as much as I'd like. So once you come to Fort Mifflin for a sleep with the ghosts, they lock you in, and you can sleep in the barracks here where I am, or you can sleep in a tent. I wish this was reading a little bit more blue. Which I'm going to go in with some of the eyeshadow. And then the next thing in her look is she has very, very bright cheeks, and her eyebrows are also very white. So I actually have just sort of a non-toxic glue stick, and you can just put that right over your brows just to get them lightened up. And then I am going to go in with a little bit more of the foundation. A little bit of a mess. Making a little bit of a mess. Two things that were very prominent in this era were very bright cheeks and a heart-shaped lip. So I am going to try to do that as well. And also a beauty mark or two. Usually the beauty marks were used to cover blemishes. I am going to go in with my, so this is NYX Buttermelt 01, my Butter Half. It's very bright. And I'm going to go in with my Spa Sister double-sided brush, and with the blush side. And I'm going to go down fairly low on this look. Again, I don't necessarily want this look to be something negative about Elizabeth. I think she's a very sad figure, and I want to reflect that, not necessarily that she's someone who's scary. There's a little bit of the pink on my nose too, and I think they would have had that as well. Is there someone here with me right now? See, it stops. I've been in this room before and it's been very, very active. My trusty ghost cup. So the next thing I'm going to do is go in with my NARS again, and I just want to be really white anywhere else that I don't have the blush. And I have a little kabuki brush. And she does have, yes. Is there anyone here that can make this light up all the way to red? Elizabeth, are you here? I have other tools that I brought as well. But I do love the EMF detector because I don't know, I'm sure there's a lot of science behind it, but there's no electricity around me whatsoever except my phone. Except for my phone. So next I think I'm going to do some blue under my eyes and take the same palette. And I'm going to go in, this is just actually like a paintbrush. It's this darker blue. There's nowhere to wash my face after this, so I'm here for the night and I will have my face painted like this. Hope I don't scare the other people. Do you hear people? That's people who are ghost hunting right outside. So now I'm going to try to get a heart shape on my lips. Actually, let me go in first and powder my lips. I'm going back in with the NARS. Technical difficulties. There we go. Oh, look how bright I am. I did powder my hair as well. Well, dry shampoo. So now I'm going to try this lip look. So I think I got it. The last thing for this look would be a beauty marker too, and I do have my NYX matte 150 black eyeliner. And then the last thing I'll do is hit off with some mascara. So I have Maybelline the Falsies Lash Lift. And again, actually before I do my mascara, I am going to hit off with some matte setting spray. one actually does have a little bit more blue here. It's almost like a contour, but blue. And I do have a contour brush, but I'm going to use Teo Yao. That's the name of this brush. This has some sparkle to it. Just to get the hollows. I don't know that this would have been an appropriate look for then, but this is where I am so far. And to finish the look, I will be doing my eyelashes. And I'll be telling you more about the fort as well. I would love to try to do my eyebrows because I know in some photos and some art, there's very thin eyebrows, but I'm afraid that I'll mess that look up. So I'm not gonna do that right now. Let me just check with my little, I have this pretty little mirror. And I just wanna get, yeah. Again, this is an active ghost hunt. There are people coming in, and that's fine, but this is going off. So, I'm sure that this would not be an appropriate look for a family woman on the fort, but I wanted to try to get something historically accurate. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below any thoughts you may have. Have you ever been to the fort? Would you be interested in being locked in somewhere where you do have 2 opportunities to leave, but beyond that, you have to stay the night? Would you do that? I'm not afraid to do it. I'm very fascinated by this, as you can imagine. Thank you for coming along on this adventure with me. Stay haunted and stay beautiful.
Sorry this one was so choppy, everyone, but I really wanted to get it out to you. I had a lot of problems with my clips that I can't explain.